Take a look at your daily routines. The way you reach for your phone before your eyes even adjust to the morning light. The way you open that specific app, or pour that specific drink, or look for that quick, familiar hit of comfort the moment a wave of stress hits your chest. You tell yourself it's a choice. You convince yourself that you are the architect of your own behavior. But you are not. You are simply a resident living inside a beautifully designed biological prison. Whether it is a bottle, a chemical compound, a flashing screen, or a compulsive behavior, the destruction always uses the exact same engineering. Addiction does not care about the medium. It only cares about the infrastructure. It doesn't just change your habits, it completely redesigns your brain. To understand how you got trapped, you have to look at the first brick ever laid. The dopamine debt. Every modern trigger, from an engineered algorithm to a distilled substance, is designed to artificially overload your brain's reward system. It floods the synapses with an unnatural storm of dopamine. It feels like pleasure. It feels like an escape. But in reality, it is a high-interest loan. And the collection day always arrives. To survive the flood, your brain does something terrifying. It downregulates. It shuts down its natural receptors. It lowers your biological baseline. And suddenly, reality changes. The everyday world begins to feel grey, flat, and chillingly cold. The things that used to bring you joy now feel like static on a broken television. This is the exact transition point where the architecture seals its first door. You are no longer chasing a high. You are no longer looking for pleasure. You are running away from the agony of absence. You stop using the vice to feel good, and you start using it just to feel normal, to reach zero. You have become a slave to a baseline that you can no longer control. Once the chemistry is secure, the addiction begins to alter your physical world through a process called the isolation protocol. It acts like an invasive parasite, systematically dismantling every external anchor in your life. It starts quietly. You skip a social gathering because it interferes with your routine. You abandon a hobby because it doesn't give you that immediate, intense satisfaction anymore. You alienate the people who care about you because their eyes look at you with judgment, and judgment causes friction. And friction requires energy. The system wants you alone. Why? Because dependency thrives in a vacuum. It slowly cuts your ties to reality until the only relationship you have left is the one with the source. The isolation creates a profound, structural loneliness, and the tragedy of the design is that the addiction is the only thing that promises to cure the very loneliness it created. It is a self-sustaining loop, a closed room with no windows. But how do you stay in a prison without fighting back? You do it through the currency of rationalization. Inside the architecture of addiction, there is a master liar living in the mirror. Your brain is incredibly intelligent, and when it is hijacked, it weaponizes that intelligence against you. It becomes a brilliant lawyer defending your worst enemy. Think about the sentences that echo in your mind. I can stop any time I want. It was an incredibly stressful day. I deserve this. This is the absolute last time. Tomorrow, everything changes. These are not conscious thoughts. They are automated survival mechanisms generated by a hijacked amygdala. You become a master negotiator with your own ruin, signing contracts written in the dark, truly believing that you are in control even as the floor crumbles beneath your feet. And then, the trap becomes environmental, the Pavlovian prison. The architecture maps itself onto your physical surroundings, the clock striking a certain hour, the specific notification sound on your phone, the familiar, exhausting route you drive home after work, the heavy silence of an empty apartment. Your brain pairs these innocent cues with the craving. Before you even realize what you are doing, the loop has automated itself. Cue leads to craving. Craving leads to response. Response leads to temporary, fleeting relief. You are walking down a track that was laid out for you weeks, months, or years ago. In fact, neuroscience shows that the anticipation of the hit, the walk to the liquor store, the scrolling before the purchase, the preparation of the ritual, releases more dopamine than the consumption itself. You are addicted to the hunt. You are addicted to the promise of relief, not the relief itself. In the final stage, the most devastating collapse occurs. The collapse of your horizon. A healthy, human mind looks into the future. It plans for 5 years, 10 years, a lifetime. It can sacrifice immediate comfort for a long-term reward. But under the weight of dependency, your future shrinks. Your temporal horizon shifts from years to days, and finally, to hours. The only thing that matters is the next increment of time. How do I get through this afternoon? How do I numb this evening? The inability to value the future locks you in an eternal, agonizing present. The prison is complete. The blueprint is fully executed. But blueprints can be torn down. Structures can be demolished. If you are standing inside this burning house today, you must realize one cold, hard truth. You cannot negotiate with the flames. You cannot use willpower to fix a brain that has been structurally rewired to defeat your willpower. You cannot change the layout while staying inside the walls. Recovery is not a test of strength. It is an act of total architectural demolition. You have to step completely outside. You have to break the loops, starve the cues, and face the grey, cold reality until your brain learns how to build its own color again. To dismantle the prison, you must first have the courage to look at the design. Your life does not belong to the loop. Turn off the automation. Subscribe to Architecture of Emotions, and let's rebuild the foundation together.